About this group, 34 assists on 43 field goals, about the chemistry that's developing out there on the floor.
We share the ball. We have a lot of trust in each other to take the best shot every single possession. We get frustrated as a unit when we turn the ball over. When we can make the game so simple, get to the basket, kick it out to our shooter. If they don't got a shot, make a quick decision. And tonight we was a great example of that for 4 quarters. The more we can do that consistently, we'll have really good shooting nights.
You had a strong finish to the game. How would you assess your game overall, first half to second half?
Just reading the game, not trying to force anything. Early, everybody had it going. I tried to, take a couple shots when I could, but for the most part, I was trying to, get in the paint, and guys had it going. Honestly, in that first half, second half, same thing. I was getting into the paint. I feel like, especially in that third quarter, being aggressive, and they collapsed, and I kicked out the shooters, Blake a few times, swing, and every time it's a good shot. So, just play the game the right way as a unit, and good things happen for us individually and as a unit.
James, it seems like the third quarter, you guys really took control of the game. Just obviously Kevin got out, but what started to click for you guys in that stretch?
Our pace. Like I said, coming off pick and rolls, getting the foot in the paint. Obviously, Kevin made some shots, but just everybody put foot in the paint. Our defense really helped us a lot as well, creating turnovers, getting out in transition, and getting easy ones for us. Collectively, I think everybody that touched the floor played extremely well on both ends of the ball, just smart basketball. We're starting to get a feel, both ends of the ball, we're starting to feel comfortable with each other, and it's showing on the court.
James, you had touched on it a little bit, but defensively, you guys held them to 20 points in that third quarter. Just what's been the biggest area of improvement, I guess, on the defensive end from training camp to now?
Individually regarding, coaches is doing an unbelievable job of with the game plan and making sure we're prepared. And we're just going out there and playing hard for each other. Having each other's backs. We're not the biggest team, so we got to do everything, before it touches the paint, and then as a unit, rebound the basketball. So we did that for 4 quarters. Obviously they're a good team, especially offensively. They're going to make some shots. They're going to make some plays. But the things that we can control is the rebounding and loose balls and not turn the ball over. And I think we did a pretty good job of that tonight. Yeah.
Hey, James, the way you guys shot the ball Sunday and now with the threes tonight and the assists, do you feel like, getting a groove going here?
Yeah. And it's going to be, different types of wins. It's not going to be the same type of win every time we win. Times when we shoot the ball and it's going to be a breeze. There's going to be times where we don't make shots and we got to find other ways to win. And that's when we got to dig deep and, individually and as a collective unit. But tonight we played well, and we got to continue this momentum for the 6-game road trip that we got coming up.
Do you see a theme over this 3-game winning streak of what's getting better compared to what was rough at the start of the season? And what can you take onto this road trip?
I think those 3 things. I think it's just a feel for each other, honestly. Like we didn't, first couple of games is whatever, training camp is whatever, preseason is, nobody's really playing hard. So, games count and matter. Now, we get to figure out who's great at what and how can we execute and what things guys aren't great at. And, we're finding that rhythm. We're finding each other and it's just getting a lot easier. Like our second unit is playing extremely well. That second unit when Patty and LaMarcus and Paul and DB and JC getting it's fluent. And when we can get that where there's no drops when we sub, things will be better for us.
Hey James, this is twofold. Obviously this wasn't going to hold up for the entire season, but generally speaking, the rebounding has pretty much told the tale of every game that you guys have played.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got out rebounded, but you still found a way to win tonight. What was it, I guess, that allowed you to kind of find a way tonight where that might not have happened maybe a week ago?
We made shots. We made 22 threes. We shot in 46% from the 3-point line. That right there, and we can't rely on that. We can't rely on our shot making ability. That's like a bonus. If we're making shots, it's going to be a lot easier for us. But if we continue to rebound, continue to do the things that you guys know we talk about every single time I'm up here, and I'm sure Steve does as well. If we can keep that under control, we'll be a top top 10 defensive team. And, we're pretty good on the first, possession. It's just the rebound. So we got to continue to harp on that. And as a unit, I think we got to do it collectively.
And you talked about defensive improvements. Steve was here and he was talking about, in the first half that there were a couple defensive mistakes that you might have made.
Yeah.
And in the second half, he said, it was after watching film at halftime, it kind of flipped. I'm just curious what you saw on film that you said, maybe I can get into this guy more. Maybe I have to give more space. What kind of changes?
Just reading the game, honestly. Reading the game. Different matchups. They do a good job, man. They got guys that can shoot the ball, put it on the floor. So you got to just know who you're guarding. And I got trying to help my teammates, and DeAndre Hunter hit a couple threes in that first half. So just try to engage, be more engaged with him. Bogdanovich the same way. They got guys that can really put the ball in the basket. So you got to be aware. You got to stay engaged the entire possession. So I just try to, for me individually, I think as a team as well, we just try to lock in for a whole 24.
Hey, James. I know you guys have talked about this as a beat before about the way the game is being officiated now and how it's affecting how you get to the line. But just looking at the stat sheet again tonight, 1 free throw for you, which is obviously way off of what you're used to for your career. If this is the way the game is going to be called, what do you have to do, or what can you do, or what do you want to do to try to get back to the line where you're really good?
I don't really think about it. I just play the basketball, try to play basketball. I see everybody else who makes big deals out of it and talking about it. I don't really focus on, how the game is officiating. Each game is different. For me, I feel like just constant communication with officials and seeing what their view is and telling them what my view is and telling them what I see. Constant communication. I watch other games and the games are officiated other ways. So that's out of my control, out of my hands. I go out there and just play and hoop.
Last question, Bruce Beck with NBC New York. Over.
Hey, James, can you hear me?
Hey, Brucey.
Thanks a lot, James. You made a fall-away three with 5:50 to go, and you were bouncing before it went in. Are you starting to shoot with more confidence over these last few games?
Yeah, I've been in the gym. I'm always in the gym, but I'm starting to get my legs under me a little bit more, doing extra workouts and conditioning, stairs and things like that. So it's slowly coming. My shot feels good. What is that? My shot feels good, and I'm just taking it game by game. I'm excited for this road trip. It's going to be our first test, 6-game, very, very long road trip. It's going to be our first test to see, how many wins we can come out of this road trip. So I know I'm excited. I know that the guys are excited as well.
Thank you.
Kevin, the 34 assists on 43 field goals, what does that say about the chemistry that you guys are continuing to develop?
It says a lot. We do a lot of scripting our offense in practice and trying to put people in the best positions to be successful. And I like that we stayed with it. Last week or so, our three-pointer, our shots wasn't falling, but I thought we generated great shots. So tonight, it was good to see the ball go in. But defensively, I think we did a solid job on them all night.
You guys had almost 2 weeks being able to sleep in your own beds. Now you have about 12 days on the road. What kind of test does that present for you guys?
Yeah, it's you definitely get comfortable being at home for so long. So now, it's even tougher when you go on the road. So we're looking forward to it. It's a good test for us to see who we are as a group. It was very important for us to spend this 2 weeks at home, just, getting reacquainted with the city, our routines, each other, so it was good that we was at home doing that and take it on the road now.
Kevin, the first 5 games, it was a little issue with kind of building familiarity and chemistry. Now you've got 3 wins in a row to take on to this road trip. What do you feel, where's the progress come for this team over the past 3 games?
I just think we needed some experience, just seeing what lineups work with what players, what sets work with, each lineup. I think that's really what it is. And you need to play games to understand that. So we knew it was going to be a process for us. I'm glad we was able to figure some stuff out the last few games and get back on the right page. And we know it's going to be even tough on the road, but we just got to keep grinding, man. I keep saying the same thing. Regular season is all about preparing you for the playoffs. So we got to keep putting in the time and the hours.
Kevin, you guys held the Hawks to just 20 points in that third quarter. What went right defensively then?
I think we did a good job of fighting over screens. Trae Young is dangerous in that pick and roll, but I thought we did a solid job of just playing them tough all night, making them shoot over guys. 6 for 22. I almost had a triple-double, but 6 for 22. I mean, he's taking a lot of shots. That's really what we want. So 22 points to get 21 shots, from their best player. We could live with that. But DeAndre Hunter got going for him. And we withstood that, and we was able to get us a good one. But for the most part, we're connected tonight.
Kevin, kind of piggybacking off that, I remember you saying last year that John Collins gave you guys trouble with his ability to slip through ball screens, and it seemed like that wasn't really a factor tonight. Was that one of the priorities with guarding him?
Yeah, we know how you've seen this team last year go to the Eastern Conference Finals and make explosive plays at the rim like that, and that gets their team going. Capella, John Collins, Trae Young coming downhill, he just tossing it up blindly sometimes. So we wanted to keep bodies on John and not let him get to his launching pad. And we made Trae to score tonight. He was able to, he put up a lot of shots. So that's a good formula. And I'm sure we'll see this team again.
Kevin, with the second unit, when you and James are both off the court and you have to find some offense there, how important is it that Patty and LaMarcus in particular are those guys for you and give you the scoring off the bench that they did tonight?
Yeah, it's important. I mean, it's good that, that unit gets to figure out how they want to play without me and James, and we're going to need them to be aggressive and confident on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they were everywhere. DeAndre, Patty, L and Paul Millsap just everywhere on defensive end talking through stuff. But offensively, everybody's starting to catch a rhythm and understand what they need to do with that group. So it's good for their confidence to come out here and play well.
James said that he feels like finally you guys are starting to get a feel for one another. Where does that feel kind of reflect most on the floor, maybe where it didn't show earlier this season?
The way we move the basketball, I think we playing more than we had tonight. We had more than one action where we went from side to side and we moved the ball from both sides of the floor, shifted the defense a little bit more. So I think we're getting comfortable with our plays, knowing what sets we want to call and know what we want to play out of. And Coach put in so many good sets throughout the training camp and preseason. And sometimes you might have to, scale back and hold on to some of those plays and mix it up a bit. So it's a process, like I said. I think we've been doing a good job of just trying to, understand what Coach needs from us and going out there and executing.
Hey, Kevin. This is twofold. When you guys were down, I think 3 with maybe 7 minutes left in the third, you had a dozen in like a 26-7 run to close out that period. I'm curious if there was anything, I guess, that you saw in the way they were guarding you, or was there something else that led?
Yeah, I just felt like the lane was open. I felt like I can get to wherever I wanted on the floor, and it's just about me knocking down shots. And I was aggressive all night, I felt. My teammates were looking for me. I think I did a solid job of playing with the ball in my hands and without it. And I could be a little better without the ball, cutting, moving off of screens, a little faster, but I think I did a solid job tonight. I just tried to take what the defense gave me.
And you've talked repeatedly about how, the defense is steadily making some strides. I'm curious, tonight you guys played a little bit more drop, I guess, than what we're accustomed to seeing last year. Is that just kind of a game by game circumstance, or is adding a little more drop coverage one of the things that you guys have had to get used to this year defensively?
I think every team is starting to incorporate the drop and the switching. And I think if we want to be a versatile defensive team, we got to be able to make the change, make the adjustment on the fly, and be able to play that way throughout a whole game, because some teams with bigs and guards like Trae Young, we don't want to always have our bigs switching out onto him. So if we can, do a good job of containing the pick and roll, making them kick out, getting the closeouts and scrambling, I think, that's better for our defense. And then when we could throw in some switches, it's good for us as well. But I just think having that versatility is more important than anything.